All right, here's some big news coming in on bulldozers making its way to areas in Delhi. Delhi's Seelampur and Dwarka. Bulldozers land up carrying out an anti-encroachment drive. There you see bulldozers already in action, bringing down those illegal structures that have occupied that particular road. Seelampur and Dwarka. Visuals coming in from Seelampur. In fact, these visuals that you see on your screens here are from Dwarka in Delhi, where we're looking at bulldozers in action. The MCD had already sent out a message a week ago that there will be an anti-encroachment drive all the way from the 10th to the 14th of May this month. In fact, one knows that the MCD has been receiving a lot of criticism for carrying out anti-encroachment drives without giving out notices to those people, to those owners of these commercial shops, even homes for that matter, that have been built on encroached land. But here the MCD has constantly said that if it is an anti-encroachment drive, if the property is illegal and is encroached, then one does not need a notice. A notice need not be given. The MCD can very well carry out this demolition drive if it is on encroached land. This is an anti-encroachment drive where bulldozers we see in full action that arrive in Dwarka, Tilak Nagar, Seelampur. These are areas that will now be in the spotlight for the MCD to carry out huge demolition drives. Now, we so far have not seen any opposition coming in from the locals there, like we saw in Shaheen Bagh. Many of the people, of course, concerned if their shop or home will be touched. These are areas that the MCD has been looking into. Seelampur, Dwarka, Tilak Nagar, these areas today will be the top focus for the MCD to carry out large-scale anti-encroachment drives. Well, the MCD clarifies that this is not a demolition drive, it's an anti-encroachment drive. These areas that are being demolished are stepping over into encroached, stepping over to the road. It's encroaching the space which does not belong to those owners. And therefore, considering it's illegal, these shops, those shanties, whatever that is built on illegal land, on land that is of course illegal, that will be razed down. And we see that these bulldozers have already set in action. They're right now bulldozers in Tilak Nagar that you see on the right-hand side of your screens. On the left-hand side, you see visuals coming in from Dwarka. This is another round of an anti-encroachment drive that's being carried out by the MCD. Like we did mention, the MCD has been receiving a lot of flack on not being able to maneuver through areas and of course not giving out notices, not informing the locals there before carrying out this anti-encroachment drive, etc. But the MCD has been stern that if anything has been built illegally, then they do not, or they're not required to give out a notice. They can land up and carry out a demolition drive, considering the law gives them that provision to crack down on illegal construction. This is the bulldozers that have been unleashed by the MCD in areas like Dwarka and Tilak Nagar in Delhi, right after we saw bulldozers almost pulling down several shops in Jangirpuri, which was the area that had large-scale communal clashes right after Hanuman Jayanti, and then followed by Shaheen Bagh that came under scanner with bulldozers reaching Shaheen Bagh and trying to pull down those illegal structures. But not much was accomplished in Shaheen Bagh as locals protested there vehemently, almost saying with conviction that there was nothing illegal, and if there was, then the MCD should prove it to them. The bulldozers moved away from Shaheen Bagh, pulled back, and now they've arrived a day later at Dwarka and Tilak Nagar. And it seems like the MCD this time seem quite prepared. They've already swung into action, pulling down those illegal structures that have been in place possibly for decades. Doesn't matter for the MCD whether this was 1 year old or 50 years old. If it's illegal, it's got to be brought down. The MCD on full swing, carrying out demolition drive and anti-encroachment drive in areas of Dwarka, Tilak Nagar and Seelampur. Remember, just yesterday, some parts of New Friends Colony also saw bulldozers raising down illegal structures. Today, we're looking at the same bulldozers reaching the doors of Dwarka, Tilak Nagar and Seelampur. These are visuals coming in from these areas where bulldozers are now in full action, bringing down those illegal shanties, those thatched roofs that are attached towards many of those commercial establishments or shops. Even if the roof is extending out of line, even if a proper shanty, that a makeshift shanty is extending beyond what is legal will be pulled down. Nothing will be spared as per the MCD. Anything illegal will be brought down. Those tin roofs, many of them we see have already been brought down by those by those bulldozers that are in action right this moment. Many of those tin roofs, those metal sheets that are extending towards the road, which really surpasses the legal area, that too is not being spared. That too is being pulled down. And that's what we see here in front of the shops. Many of those tin roofs have been brought down. Any footpath that's also been that's been erected on the road, which is again surpassing the legally owned area, will also be broken down. And that's exactly what we're seeing here in Tilak Nagar, as we see the bulldozers breaking down those tin roofs and those footpaths that have been built by those shop owners to make a walkway. It appears those footpaths too being dug into and brought down. Here you're looking at illegal shanties in Dwarka, where many of those thatched, almost shops that are makeshift, that are being made by literally those tin sheets that are being now raised down by the bulldozers. Dwarka, Tilak Nagar, Seelampur, these are areas that the MCD is now focusing with their anti-encroachment drive.